An alien race has descended on the planet, sending millions of people from around the world to work in mines on other planets, and those left on Earth are controlled with implanted tracking chips. People are trapped in the city because giant alien robots are stationed around the perimeter of the city. In 2019, Chicago is placed under martial law following a global extraterrestrial invasion. A family of 4 is trying to leave the city by car, but all exits have been closed. The father moved out of the line to avoid traffic. He takes the family to a restricted road, and the police open fire in an attempt to stop them. They make their way through a bridge before they realize that there is something dangerous on the other end. As the father tries to turn the car, a creature creates an explosion that vaporizes the mother and father. As one of the aliens approaches the car and reveals his faceless form, the 2 boys in the back are left holding each other. Over the next 9 years, the aliens take control of the planet and are referred to as the legislators. Their sole objective was to capture natural resources. Humans are assigned to create a closed zone, an underground habitat for the aliens, where access is only allowed by high government officials. Several humans have sided with the legislators and are helping them exploit the planet's natural resources. The rich have benefited more from their alliance, and the poor have suffered more for it. Humans are forced to carry implants in their necks that can be tracked. Meanwhile, a secret rebel group called Phoenix, intent on starting an all-out war, attempts to attack the aliens' closed zone, but the plan fails. The bombers were killed, and their first attack resulted in the destruction of Wicker Park by legislators. Even after 9 years of the rebellion, the police are searching for the rebels on the basis of suspicion. In Chicago, a government official named William Mulligan is spying on Gabriel Drummond, who lives with his girlfriend, Rula. He shows her a picture of the side of the lake where access is now prohibited. Later, he leaves for work with his friend Jurgis. Gabriel's brother Rafe had a reputation among the people of the area, but he died in the rebellion, which is why the police are spying on Gabriel. Meanwhile, Mulligan addresses a woman named Jane Doe, who runs a brothel. Before entering the house, he sees a phoenix symbol on the entrance wall. The women urge him to stop, but Mulligan says he has very little time. Before leaving, the woman gives him a box, giving him a lead on Phoenix. Back at the police station, he collects evidence and discusses it with his partner, Kermode. Meanwhile, Professor Charles confers with his colleague, Patrick Ellison, recognizing the newspaper advertisement as an order to prepare for battle issued by their leader. They are planning on making a break into the closed zone over Soldier Field that night, which will be the site of a rally that hopes to attract the legislators. Gabriel goes to his job at a factory where he undergoes an identification process, as every person now has an identifier chip inside them. This place is a data reclaim center. He scans the data, which includes hundreds of videos, including browsing history. Then he uploads all the data into the system before destroying the carriers. Meanwhile, he witnesses a co-worker stealing the powdered substance. Later, he meets a young woman named Carrie, who gives him a cigarette, which he hides behind his ear. Gabriel goes outside. Meanwhile, a woman is being taken away by 2 masked men, while she is scared and pleading for mercy. Gabriel sees a giant alien ship that is carrying a group of people from Earth as slaves to the alien mines. The city is guarded by giant alien robots that prevent people from escaping. Later, he meets Jurgis, who has repaired a boat as they plan to go out of town tonight. However, Gabriel reminds him that they are under 24-hour surveillance. He sees the weapon in Jurgis's hand and insists that it could get them into trouble. Suddenly, they hear a siren outside, and the 2 run away. But Gabriel encounters Mulligan. Mulligan ordered him to get in the car and asked him about Phoenix and Rafe, even mentioning that Gabriel's father was his partner. But Gabriel refused to talk to Mulligan. Gabriel goes to a location he was given for the job to deliver the cigarette, but he is forcibly taken into a van. He is brought to meet Rafe, who is actually alive and leading Phoenix. Gabriel is overwhelmed and learns that Rafe was the only one in his group to survive an assault against the aliens, whom the group refers to as roaches. Rafe gives Gabriel money and orders him to leave the area, but he wants his brother to come back with him and get their lives back to normal. Rafe is more concerned with launching an attack against the legislators. Gabriel leaves, and Rafe opens the cigarette to find a coded message, which he passes on through a carrier pigeon. Gabriel returns home and tries to convince Rula to come with him, while Mulligan tracks and overhears their conversation. He hears Gabriel mention Rafe being alive and that Phoenix is planning something. He fails to convince Rula to go with him, so he goes away on his own. But as soon as he steps out, he encounters Mulligan. Gabriel realizes he is being followed and begins to run away. Gabriel finds a hiding spot that turns out to be in the closed zone. He finds large tentacles that try to get him. but he hides in a booth and uses a special collar to keep the tracker off. The members of Phoenix begin to set their plan in motion. Ellison delivers the code to his colleagues and is then assigned to target Robert Watts, the mayor's deputy, who can get them close to the legislators. The others are called together and undergo procedures to have their implants removed. However, the surgery proves fatal for some. Later, a man gives Ellison tracking chips, which were extracted from law-abiding citizens who had died from diseases. These insect-like chips are placed in a container and placed in the mouth so that they too will be recognized as law-abiding citizens. Rafe meets another man, and the two retrieve an invisible explosive material from a woman that was obtained from a crashed alien ship. The special thing is that this substance is organic and undetectable by the scanner. The group would use it as a bomb, which would be passed on to Watts. According to the plan, the leader distributes containers of new chips and capsules of poison to everyone so that they can avoid being captured alive. Thousands of people gathered at Soldier Field for the rally. Phoenix moves quickly so that no one knows, as their plan is coming to fruition. As the alien ship hovers over the stadium, Rafe manages to plant a bomb on Watts. As Watts approached the legislators in the stadium hall, the bomb exploded. Everyone starts running away from the stadium while the police block the roads to search for the attackers. The Phoenix members flee and are fired upon, killing one, but the remaining members still attempt to escape. Rafe tries to escape and enters a dark corridor, but is found by an alien who killed his parents. It attacks Rafe, but another member of the Phoenix helps weaken the alien and help Rafe escape. They proceed to hide any evidence of their involvement. Meanwhile, Gabriel learns of the attack and runs to the area where the boat was kept, but finds it destroyed. After the bombing, the aliens bring hunter warriors from another planet to eliminate the attackers. Mulligan meets with Commissioner Eugene Igo to try to stop Phoenix. He tries to reassure Igoya that he needs some time to catch the attackers and that he wants Igoy to stop the legislators. But Igo says Mulligan doesn't need to get his hands dirty, and he should let legislators do the dirty work. He then enters a pod, which takes him to a closed zone. Mulligan raids Gabriel's building to search for the Drummond brothers, and Gabriel is captured. He then gets in touch with a Phoenix member and appears to threaten his family to get information on the others' whereabouts. Rafe and his group arrive at the station and board the bus. The bus starts moving, and they think they have managed to escape, but then the bus is stopped by armed guards and hunters. One of the hunters enters the bus, and out of fear of being caught, one of the group swallows the poison capsule. The girl attempts to attack the hunter, but the strike instantly vaporizes her. Rafe attacks the hunter while trying to escape, and the hunter throws him out of the bus. Ultimately, he chooses to swallow the capsule rather than run away, but Mulligan arrives and stops him. Mulligan interrogates Gabriel about Rafe, and when he refuses to tell anything, Mulligan takes him to a place where Rafe is being held prisoner and was beaten badly. Rafe is angry at his brother because he told him to leave the area. However, Gabriel was helpless as his boat was burned by Mulligan, which he later revealed. Rafe pleads with Gabriel not to follow Mulligan, but it doesn't look like he has a choice, as Mulligan tells Gabriel that the legislators want to level Pilsen the same way they did Wicker Park. Mulligan tasks Gabriel with infiltrating Phoenix's cell by delivering a message. Gabriel makes it to their base and is recognized by Charles as one of his students. He leads Gabriel to the apartment of Jane Doe, the leader of the rebels. As she greets him, Mulligan orders his men to barge in and shoot her. Mulligan and Kermode later arrive to search the place and come across a wire behind the walls that leads to a space with hidden information and files. Mulligan sits down to meet with the legislators and gives them all the information they need about Phoenix. He reassures them that their network has been neutralized and reveals that the prostitute's real name was Priscilla Scott. Furthermore, when the recording obtained from his room is played, it is revealed that Igo was also clearly involved. The Phoenix members are then knocked out, and some swallow the capsule to avoid being caught. Mulligan is then instructed to go to a closed zone for further orders. The remaining Phoenix members are placed in a legislature ship that flies into the sky. Later, Mulligan finds Gabriel and tells him that Rafe is alive, but he doesn't care, since Rafe didn't care about him either, and his plan failed anyway. Mulligan says it may have been intentional for them to fail. He hands Gabriel a chip with something he must watch. Gabriel takes it to his job and plays it on a computer. It features what seems to be a baby shower for Gabriel's mother. Priscilla and Charles are among the guests, which also includes none other than Mulligan himself, which means that he was part of Phoenix from the very beginning as part of a plan to gain the legislators' trust and infiltrate the closed zone. Gabriel finishes the video and deletes the footage. Mulligan is then seen being strapped and sent into the closed zone. At the end of the movie, reports of the lockdown being lifted across the country are shown, and the movie ends with this.